Hey, everybody. On this week's episode of Crying in My Car, we have special guest, educator Andrea. We have our, obviously, resident co-host, James Yan, and we are here to talk about sports. How violent can you get when you're playing against other students? Turns out, as violent as you want.
Oh, wow.
Also, we talk about a crazy dodgeball experience with my child, and then we end talking about parent-teacher conferences, but we turn the tables. It's teachers going against the parent, and you're going to want to hear it. So tune in this week for Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers. Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers. I'm Devin Sebold. I've got my good buddy here, Mr. James Yan, a comedian, a parent. We're here to make you laugh, hopefully get rid of that stress from the workday. And we have a special guest for a second week in a row, educator Andrea.
Yep.
Andrea. I said Andrea because
I wasn't going to say.
I have a British, Andrea is kind of how I go with. But Andrea, we can go with the American, Oklahoma.
Way.
Andrea. Yeah. Andrea.
There is no twang on the end of it.
There's no?
No.
I would have put it there.
There should be.
Yeah. I don't know if you know this, but we're saying your name right.
Okay. All right, got it.
All this time, you're saying it wrong.
I know. Yeah. Honestly, I respond to any version of it. Andreas usually get very upset if you mispronounce.
Really?
Andreas usually go with whatever. So.
Well, I am Devin Sebold, and I don't know if you know this, James. I don't know if I ever told you this story, but I've always been told it's Sebold. It's German, Sebold.
Yes, because I told you what?
What?
When I first met you.
What's that?
You're pronouncing your name wrong.
And anyways, so I've always said Sebold. Everybody says Sebold, and a lot of people say Seibold. And I went to the beer garden, which is in Epcot, and it's a fine dining establishment in Germany that's a buffet. There was a guy from Germany, and my name is German, and he goes, "Oh, Seibold, you're from Germany," and I was like, I said, "No, it's Sebold. I'm from here." And anyways, it's Seibold.
I told you that. We had this whole debate when I first met him. When he started doing comedy, I was calling his name up to come before him. I said, Seibold. He goes, "It's Sebold." I'm like, is it?
Is it though?
Yeah.
You just gaslit him into changing the pronunciation.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah. Even companies are wrong. It's not Diebold. It's Diebold.
Got it. Understood. Yeah. You're probably right.
That is incorrect.
Yeah.
So, a little known fact about me. I used to play college sports. I know you're looking at my physique and saying, we know. But anyways.
That's what we said.
That is. Yeah. That's exactly what we said.
So I used to play college sports and
Yeah,
play college
obviously.
basketball. Being 6'6", I was obviously the best player on the team. Debatable. But I was pretty into it, and then I started into teaching high school. And I remember it was kind of sneaky because kids think the teacher, they don't think the athlete. They don't see, and some kids get it. They look and be like, "Well, that's obviously Adonis type physique,
Specimen,
and that is a straight out of Greek literature."
Yeah.
And I decided to play, so I would play, and it was so sneaky on these kids because they would come out, and I'd be like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna hoop after school," and they'd be like, "Seabowl hooping? Come on!" And I'd go out there and I put the work on these children.
Did. I know.
I would, and it was funny too because there was 5 of us exactly in my high school that I was teaching at that were old teachers, older, 30s, 20s, late 20s, 30s, 40s even. We all played professional, college basketball, a serious level. And we would go out and the students would be like, "Hey, we'll play 5-on-5 with the teachers." And they would get destroyed by us.
And they couldn't believe it, right?
Right.
No, couldn't believe it. But here's the crazy thing is I'm getting older now. I'm 38. Now I have started back at the gym. I'm trying to get in good shape. I'm trying to work out, get better, and I go in there to the gym, man, and I see them. I see the high school students and they're in there shooting around, and here's good old me just doing a little few shots over here, don't mind me.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Hey, we need one." And I'm like, I guess I could come over and play. And man, it is literally straight out of the White Man Can't Jump textbook.
You're Billy Ho.
Even it's so funny because even with the extra weight that I've put on over the years, I still can hoop 900 times better than these children because they're in the Steph Curry age and they are used to shooting a three-pointer constantly. They all sit around the outside.
That's it.
And so I'm literally like, okay, I don't know if you know how to play in the paint. I don't know if you know what a pump fake is. I don't know if you know. And I put the hurt on these children.
And they can't.
And they can't compete.
Understand what's going on.
They don't understand what's happening.
Oh.
I'm putting on an and one commercial for them in person, and it makes me so happy, by the way.
I love that you left the classroom and you're like, I'm just not crushing enough souls now.
I know. I
need
have
to
to
go
get
find
back to crushing souls.
Yeah.
It is kind of a real, like a really relief, like a feeling when the kids that I had that were sometimes trouble in my class, I would connect to them through sports. I'd be like, hey, you guys play basketball, right? Let's go hoop. And it did help the demeanor in the class. Like they respected me more because, hey, he's a hooper. And they started calling me coach. I was not a coach, but they'd be like, coach, you know? But to be real, I was putting on a lesson on the court, you know?
Wow.
But it was funny to me that they would think I couldn't play and then I'd go out and play. But in my mind, I now have a reason to dunk on children. Like I'm out there like boxing them out and like get elbow.
Yeah.
I have an old picture of me on Facebook that it comes up on my timeline sometimes, and I've got like a bloody lip and like blood coming down my face because one of the kids elbowed me. And I'm like, you know what though? That's part of the sport. But keep in mind, I can throw an elbow back.
That's true. That's true.
And I can't get in trouble for it. That was the best part is there was no principal there to give me a technical foul.
No.
So it's just, hey, get stronger.
And even if you did, it would just be, hey, I was giving them an anatomy lesson.
Right.
Yeah, but I loved it. We would meet as teachers and we talked about like destroying these kids. And it was so funny.
The amount of joy I see in
it
your
was
face right
amazing.
now.
Shout out to Pistol Pete. Pete, this guy that I play with, and Gompers, we would go out there and destroy these children. I mean, it was
So great.
Thomas, and we each had our power positions, and we knew what we would do. We had roles. We were a team, like we were three-peat, going out there destroying these kids. But it was so funny because like one of these kids we like owned completely. And then he went out and became like a star for like UCF basketball Division I.
What?
And then you live like vicariously. You're like, I guess I could have done it. You know?
Right.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
It's whatever. He wasn't that good.
Gotcha. I coached him up pretty good.
I don't think if he hadn't gone through the lessons that I taught him,
Right. Wouldn't happen.
I'm thinking D3 at
Yeah.
most.
Yeah, bro. I
But
got you.
I loved it. And did you ever do any of the student faculty games? Did you ever participate?
I have before. I played basketball in high school and was like varsity team captain, but that's where it ended, and only because it was a very small school. So there were not a lot of options to choose from for varsity team captain. It was like me and two other seniors. So I enjoy playing basketball, but like I'm not putting any students to shame. It's going to be really uncomfortable for me. And like,
do you participate in any of the faculty student games? Do you guys have those?
so we just had one. I did not participate. I was not invited.
Oh,
I get the impression that there is a group of teachers at my school that is very similar to you.
come on.
And that
You
they're
mean
all
amazing?
very talented, and they know they're talented, and they do not want to weaken their chances of destroying the students. So we just had a game like a few weeks ago, and it was insane. The teachers destroyed the students, and it was during lunch. And after the teachers, because I think they like did first to 20 or something like that. And when the teachers won, the students like rushed the court and were like screaming each other. We're so pumped. It was so fun, and everyone was so into it. It was great. But
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, if you would have walked in, say wearing that, I would have said liability. And she's out. She can warm the bench or something.
Yeah,
do we need water during the game? I
Yeah.
think we need water. And
here's the problem though, is like I was fairly good in high school, but I have not played since, and I am so competitive. So the combination of sucking and being super competitive is the worst possible combination. Because then I'm just like so angry that I'm not doing well that it's just not fun for me whatsoever.
well, that worked out for Bobby Boucher.
That's true.
Yeah. Now, we had an interesting strategy. I played all the sports for the teacher students. I wanted to crush the children.
Gotcha.
That's all I wanted to do. We did basketball and not even competition. We did volleyball. Please put me at the net, 6'6". And then we did football. And I'll never forget our football. We were losing. And I was like, oh, no, this ain't going to happen. And I was like, new strategy. Okay, I'm 6'6". And I said, I'm going to go stand in the end zone, throw it high, and I'll just grab it. And I did. I sat in the end zone, and our quarterback went, and the children were like leaping, and I was like, and I just grabbed out of there, touchdown, and I was like, okay, same play, next run. And I just go walk to the end zone, and they see the ball coming, and they're jumping and grabbing me, and I'm like, like, game over. Next. But we did softball. Crushed them.
Okay.
Kickball, please. The only one we never did, which I personally am a champion of now. I know there's a gym teacher out there that we're going to actually, our PE teacher, he's going to be so mad. But it's in his name, Angry Gym Teacher. I'm going to bring him on the show because he doesn't do dodgeball. He is anti-dodgeball. There's a growing level of PE teachers that are anti-dodgeball. And I think dodgeball builds character.
Is it?
Or it creates soul-crushing
bullying, which builds character.
Character.
Yeah, which builds character.
You know what character gets you as an adult? Therapy.
Yeah. My child, my oldest is 8, and we go to Defy, which is a trampoline park, and he immediately goes into the dodgeball area. And like, I'll look in there, and he's just relentlessly pounding a 3-year-old, just like destroy. Like the dad's grabbing him, like running him for cover, and he's just hitting the dad.
Enough. He's had enough.
Please, God, no. Whose child is this? And I'm just sitting there like, he's mine, and you're out. You know? And I love the dodgeball.
Why is he punishing the little kid?
I know.
Little 3-year-old.
You got to be honest. I'm 6'6". Everybody's smaller than me. And he's just got to learn.
So whether you're 3 or 30.
He has to learn.
Oh, my God.
And that builds character. But I'm pro dodgeball. We used to play dodgeball when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I am pro dodgeball, capture the flag, anything super hyper competitive. If you get hit, you get hit.
Yeah.
I don't know, but maybe that's just because I was into sports, and I guess the people like you that maybe were like sitting on the sidelines.
Whoa.
Please,
That is not the
minute.
message. I was
Please
not
don't
on the
hit me.
sideline.
See, you'd be the first one I'd
No.
hit. I'd be like, look at her, she's in orange.
I'm
No.
guessing.
You could see
We
her.
all know who gets hit first when you're a kid and you play dodgeball.
The weakest.
No. The fat kid.
The weakest.
Yeah, when you say play dodgeball, so did
Yeah.
I. I played for like all of 2 minutes. Yeah.
You got to catch it, James.
They
You don't know how to play?
were aiming at my head.
I'm about to make him cry
I'm seeing,
on
like-
the crying in my car.
Yeah,
I'm like,
right.
James, you are a liability. There's a reason that we're not winning.
I'm doing my best.
I'm seeing a theme here. Are you a bully?
I was never a bully. And this is so funny. I was actually like super, super nice. But when it came to sports, I was very competitive.
Gotcha. That's
but
where you got
outside
it
of
out.
sports, I was actually with the outcasts. I was goth. I believe it or not. Yep. Back in the day, hardcore
We'll
goth.
need pictures of
I
that.
hung out with the lowest outcasts in the school, the people that didn't belong.
Mm-hmm.
And it was weird because I was like a star of the basketball team. And in my head, I had this thing that people would respect other people that we disrespected in the school if I acknowledged them as people.
I understand that.
So
I get that.
I felt like I had to champion the lesser people in the school that were the outcasts, and I was friends with them. And because of that, I got bullied a lot myself, but I was always big, and I was a huge target, and people hated me.
Really?
Like, yeah, they would be like, look at him over there with those freaks, and I'd be like, they're nice people. You're not. Go away, you know?
Yeah.
And but they would never threaten me because I was bigger, you know. So it was
Absolutely.
kind of like a
Yeah.
protection. You know, I felt like a little like mafia boss going around. All right, so listen, the country boys over there are willing to settle a truce.
Yeah. This is going to happen. We're not going to do anything violent, but you're going to have to kick up graham crackers to my friends.
Yeah, you gotta move the graham
That's
cracker.
right. Hey.
Also, meth, Florida.
We're only in the 4th grade.
It's just part of it. It's part of it. Our schools were heavily divided into factions.
Yes. Every school
Heavily.
is.
I mean, it was
Yeah, there's a
straight
clique.
out of
There's
the
cliques.
Beat It music video.
Wow.
Yeah, but they would meet in the middle and fight all the time.
Wow.
I went to a very violent middle school, and I was there for 1 year, and then I went to a prep school. My parents got me out, luckily.
Okay.
But then it was, everybody was friends. We were fine, but there was some really strong divides between people. Not in your
not in my school, but mine was a very small school. And I feel like it was more like the idea of cliques than actual cliques because nobody actually hated each other.
Yeah.
And there was like so many movies about like high schoolers being in cliques that we felt like that's what it should be. But I don't feel like it's the same way anymore, at least not at the school that I teach at. Like, I don't see kids in major cliques. Like, it's not like all the football players are like all together all the time and like the cheerleaders all together all the time. Like, I think it's kind of changed.
we
was
were
like
very
that.
violent.
No, not violent, but when in my school in high school, we had a bunch of cliques. Like you saw the jocks, you saw the theater kids, then you saw the kids that were in choir, you saw the art kids. You know what I mean? They all had their
And
little
then there's
group.
the single child with the yo-yo.
There's always a yo-yo kid.
And you're like, what is wrong with that
That's
kid?
right, the hacky sack kid.
The yo-yo
Yeah.
kid, yeah,
I
the
do feel
hacky
like
sack.
band kids are still a thing. Though.
They are.
Like there,
That's
a
it's
thing.
just
That's
like
a
a
culture.
really specific, like microculture in every school is like the band kids and all that.
I had 2 kids in band, so it's a real thing.
Yeah.
They're all together.
Right?
Yeah. But you didn't have the violence we had, fights.
I had fights. I went to Gateway. Gateway was kind of known for fighting. We had they started bringing multiple cops in because
We had that.
Yeah, kids were just, it wouldn't stop. So then they had to make a rule. If you are caught fighting, you got expelled. No questions asked.
Yeah.
You had to get kicked out of the school. Yeah. It was bad.
We had violence. We had a lot of crazy stuff happen. The worst incident that I ever had as a student, my mom was like devastated over this. It was so weird. But I had a kid that took a long needle between his fingers and punched me in the arm. And it went all the way through my arm into my side randomly. He just targeted me randomly, just hit me in the arm. Full needle through my arm. His friends were laughing, and I went to the office, and I still had the needle in my arm. I was like, somebody just stabbed me with the needle. And they're like, oh my gosh. And I was like, it's that kid over there and his friend. And they brought him in, and it was the end of the school day. They said, we'll get to this tomorrow.
What?
And they made me come in the next day with my mom, and the kid and his friend colluded and said it didn't happen. It wasn't them. It was somebody else that was nearby. And they never found the culprit. Oddly enough, the glove doesn't fit. You must have quit.
Gotcha.
You know. And the worst part was I had to go to the doctor after that and get a bunch of blood tests because we don't know what was on the needle.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Or
that
where
would
they
be my
got
concern.
it. You know.
Craziest part about that whole thing, Devin still has a needle in his arm.
Still
Still
does.
there.
Still
Yeah.
there.
Still there.
Still there.
Yep. But no, it's true because when I go play basketball, I'm like, time to go. And then I got to give myself a little shot of adrenaline.
There you
I'm
go,
like,
man.
Got to put it
There
on
you
these
go.
kids just to remember, But it was crazy. I also had, and we're gonna jump into the teachers in the news in just a little bit. But I also, did you ever have like in high school? So I was a coach for 1 year, assistant coach. Our head coach was a very interesting character. He was very much along the line of what's that guy, Bobby, the guy that coached for Indiana. Maybe not
Bobby Knight?
Bobby Knight.
Yeah.
Very
Intense. Yes.
I don't think they allow that as much anymore.
No, they do not.
I got
No.
a chair thrown at my head a few times when I was in middle school. Our coach.
Whoa. Middle school?
Yeah, it was Coach White. He was intense. He got ejected all the time. And he would go into the locker room and just start throwing chairs, cussing kids out, punching stuff. Yeah, he only coached for 2 years, and then they let him go.
I wonder why.
Yeah, they let him go, but it was the violence and stuff. Yeah. And then when I coached the head coach, when I was assistant coach, he was very vocally
Abusive?
I wouldn't say abusive, just he'd let you have it. It wasn't necessarily I'm here to bring you down. It's more of I'm here to intensify the situation.
Yeah.
And give you, tell you why it's important to you, and also run forever. And that was kind of I think we've kind of gone away with that. Now you can't even yell at the kids
can't
anymore.
Yell at a kid? No, not at all, sir.
Disagree with that.
I had those kind of coaches you're talking about. I played football.
Yeah.
And a football coach in Florida back in the day in the South, they were not the kindest people.
No.
They were not to tell you, hey, Johnny, you know that last play you messed up? It's okay.
Right.
Try harder. No, it was... It was like Yosemite Sam. Was your
I
coach.
think some became coaches just to cuss children out.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
But that's the thing is, it was always like expected, was it not?
yeah,
I did.
Did
I
you play
expected
sports?
that.
I did. Yeah, I
What'd you
played, but basketball.
Basketball. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did your coach ever cuss you out or get intense? Or?
Never. I mean, they would yell a little bit, but I never saw that with girls' sports in the same way I did with guys.
Yeah.
I always remember, but also there's there's a lot more fans for the guys' sports, and so there's a lot more intensity, and a lot of people come, and all of that.
A lot on the line.
A lot on the line, a big audience, and all of that. But I do feel like I still see coaches getting ejected, but it's probably for like lesser things.
Yeah.
Like their behavior is way toned down from what it used to be, but they're still getting ejected. It's just...
Man, even college, our coach would go off sometimes.
Really?
Oh,
Wow.
man. Just, slam the ball on the ground. F this, F that, But I don't know. I feel like it's a necessary evil at that level because I don't feel like I got maybe better, but I think I definitely was more intense about the game.
You were motivated by his behavior.
Yeah, sometimes, it's kind of meant to fire you up. But
Gotcha.
Also, I'm getting cussed out by an adult and I'm a child.
Yeah, it's problematic.
So maybe this isn't the best way to go about
So
this.
how is it when you go to your kids' sporting events?
My kids aren't doing really like organized sports yet.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just doing like after school stuff.
I will tell you, because my kids played sports as well, especially Isaiah. He did basketball and baseball. The ugliest you'll ever see people is at a children's game.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. People got ejected, but it was parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, bro, you cannot scream and yell at another person's kid. I came to find.
He's 7.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he is 6 years old.
When a child doesn't play and the parent feels like their kid is the all-star
Yeah.
and you lose a game, they're like, why didn't you let him play? I don't know. He's never made a shot. I mean, why would I let him play?
Yeah.
Why would I let him on the team,
Right.
actually?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
considering not him being there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you would have that entitlement for sure.
Absolutely.
And I can't imagine coaching nowadays because I think entitlement's so much higher in the classroom. I can't imagine what it's like in competitive sports.
Yeah.
Every parent thinks their kid's an all-star,
Yeah.
so
Everyone.
you have to deal with that. Yeah.
So you're not a participation trophy coach then?
No, not a participation coach.
No. No.
Yeah, earn it.
Earn
Earn
it.
it. They
Earn
right.
it or
Cussed
get
out
nothing.
doing it. or my 8-year-old child will meet you in the dodgeball ring.
They have his picture up at
Right,
the play.
exactly. They're like,
Yeah.
you can't come here anymore.
All right, let's go into the teachers in the news. Starting off with a Minnesota teacher who threw a hockey stick at a student will spend 2 days in jail. This is true, by the way.
I don't mean to laugh, but wow.
That's kind of a good transition. We just decided, but that's why I wanted to bring it up because this teacher apparently threw a hockey stick at the kid. Now, I saw the video. It's an 8-year-old and apparently threw a hockey stick at the kid after he had just set it down. So they sat down and she was like, no, you're playing, and threw it at the kid. Now it went straight at the kid, hit his face, knocked out his front teeth, and caused significant damage to his gum and root. Yeah, so the parents obviously upset about it.
Yeah.
Now, this is the thing. I saw it and I didn't see like anger, but also I didn't see reaction. So I don't know how to feel about it. Like, they're spending 2 days in jail for this. I don't know if they'll continue to teach. It doesn't say anything about that.
You didn't see remorse, like, oh my gosh.
Actually, now I do see what happened to her. So the district recognized I guess they got put in jail for 2 days and decided that they're going to retire. The district officially this is so messed up. So the teacher hit the kid in the face, knocked out his teeth with a hockey stick, got 2 days in jail, and the district posted a congratulatory Facebook post on their retirement and then took it down.
They also
Happy retirement in jail.
the funny part is the teacher retired. They also posted one for the kid's teeth.
Yeah, leaving us today, the teacher and also these two sizers. Yeah, but no. So the video though that I saw, she's clear. It doesn't seem like it's malicious,
Hey, here you
but
go.
also the kid, boom, and she just goes like no
Ooh.
reaction.
No remorse or anything. Yeah.
The instant, like if you're a teacher, it's like,
You'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
no,
Yeah.
let me. Oh, are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there wasn't that, and I was like.
That's why she's spent 2 days
Teacher's
in jail
like, maybe
for
you
sure.
shouldn't play. Yeah, you didn't catch
For
it.
sure.
So it's just like when I would play basketball with the kids. I knocked out some teeth, but
Oh,
I was
wow.
remorseful.
yeah, you helped him up.
Yeah.
You
I
said
was-
good game.
I was like, yeah, good game.
Good game.
And
But yeah,
Way to leave it on the court.
immediately followed by man up.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. 3 Western Pennsylvania school districts are going to sue the state over new teacher certification requirements. So I thought that maybe they had stricter requirements. Maybe there was something else. Oh, no, they are suing the state because the new district certification requirements, they say, violate their rights, their First Amendment rights, because they are asking teachers to be certified in culturally relevant and sustaining education programs on diversity. They do not want to take the diversity classes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they had said they're not taking the diversity classes. Apparently, attorney Thomas King from the Thomas More Conservative Institute, whatever, said the program forces teachers to police both the thoughts and speech, and said that it is just inventing stuff that is popular and woke in California and New York. As soon as you say the word woke, by the way, I've lost all interest in your argument because you're just saying a word to try to capitalize on something else. You have no say. So anyways, they said that this woke ideology should never be in schools in Pennsylvania. And obviously the people that are fearing the word woke are all mad. And the people that go, you're an idiot, are saying just accept the diversity training. It's a diversity training.
It's okay.
Every office has diversity
Every
training.
office, every school, every program
and
that
I'll be
I'm
honest,
aware of.
if you're fighting the diversity training, you probably need diversity
you probably
training.
need to be there.
Yes.
You probably should be there at the diversity training.
People, even Burger King has diversity training. It's called tacos at Burger King.
Yeah.
Come
So
on.
they said it's unconstitutionally vague on the program. It violates the Regulatory Review Act, the Code of Professional Practice, and the Conduct for Educators. I really don't see the argument here. If that's part of the new training, again, maybe it's needed. If there's 3 counties fighting that, I would like to, if I am a parent, you, James, and I have a diverse child, I am going, you're fighting what?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you feel if you're a parent in that district?
What you just told me was, I don't want to learn about any other culture.
Right.
No, that's crazy talk.
Right. In Florida, we fight against drug training, because we're like, listen, we all do them. I don't need trained in something that I'm a regular.
It's our biggest export. Besides horseshoes. It's our biggest export. Yeah, man.
I mean, like, do we train sharks on how to swim? I mean, I'm here for it. So
that's funny.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just can't imagine. But this is the thing, too, is that what I see most happening in these school districts, this is a conservative outsider group that has taken on this particular case and provided the attorneys. It's usually not people in the district that are actively suing and going after this. It's outside that want to make a point.
Yes.
They want it to be something. They want to fight. They go, look what we got to fight against. And then they spend the money elsewhere, and the funding's coming from the outside sources. And that's the same, like a lot of these school board meetings and stuff. The people showing up aren't even with kids in the schools.
No.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm a concerned community member. No, you're a brainwashed idiot that sits at home and is mad about something that doesn't exist.
That's right.
I don't know. I get so mad about this. This makes no sense. But anyways, this is this next one. Boy, the future is here. Apparently, there was a video circulating in a school that showed a teacher in a homemade adult film.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it got circulated around the school showing this teacher in this homemade adult film. And you know why it's crazy?
Why?
It wasn't her. It was a deep fake. The kids had taken her face and put it onto a
someone else's body
adult video.
Yeah.
And passed it around as if it was her. And with the deep fake technology, all they had to do was have a few pictures of her, upload it, and then suddenly her face is on a fake video going around. How do you feel about that?
You feel violated.
Yeah.
Honestly, you honestly do. Even though it's not you, but the fact that there's a video out there with your face on it doing something you did not do.
Right. The teacher provided the proof to the district, and the district has refused to acknowledge that the video is fake and is proceeding as if it's a real video.
What?
How do you do that?
Also, how did she get the video?
It's
They just airdropped. You accepted an airdrop.
Airdrop, yeah. I was
it says it was airdropped to staff and students at the middle school. It's a middle school. The police department is looking into it and investigating. The identity was unable to be determined. The investigation is closed. They are actively working with the campus principal and the teacher to ensure appropriate support is provided.
But you know what? I know this is awful.
I love how, by the way, I always love how districts repeat the same thing. Like this is textbook. This district aims to provide a healthy and positive learning environment and does not condone distribution of inappropriate material. It's like, why do you have to?
You had to say that?
They always say that. It's always like the Disney, mantra, like we have to be professional. And it's like, how about you stick up for your teachers first and then be professional? But why do that?
And like we want to have a safe environment for our employees to work in, and we need to figure out who's doing this because that's insane.
Case closed.
Right.
But you know what's going to happen though? I mean, this could be a silver lining. She's going to sue the crap out of those people.
I hope so.
But who do you sue?
The school.
The district for not handling it
You
properly.
can prove that is not me, and you knew it wasn't me, and you still proceeded like I actually did this. No, you're getting sued.
I want to know who airdropped it. Can't you tell who airdropped it?
Somebody's going to figure this out.
I mean, it's got to be able to be traced, right?
But if you're good enough at technology that you can create a deep fake, maybe you're good enough that you can figure out ways
apps
to.
for that. It's not even you're good at technology.
Oh.
Yeah, they do.
Tell us all about it.
I don't know anything about it.
Where do you go?
I don't
He's
know.
like, listen.
Next week, I'm literally going to pull up a video and I'll be like, that is not me. And,
You're going to create your own deep fake. You're just going to airdrop it at the board teacher's comedy tour.
Dunking on a student.
It's going to be interesting, too, because when you come back to host next week, I'm going to be like, no, James, we already recorded. And then it's going to be Vic's body, our producer's body, and your face deep faked over it. And I'll be like, James, you're so funny.
I know. You're so funny.
And it's going to be my voice dubbed over yours.
I would like it better if you just used her body in my head. Like nothing happened.
Oh my gosh.
But no, I don't know. I don't think I'd feel good about that.
No, you would really feel violated.
Yeah, and especially even from a male perspective. I know that people think male is like different, but I would want some formal acknowledgement that it's fake.
Yeah, I want it like a letter to everyone. Like, this was not the teacher.
Yeah, I mean, because the kids aren't thinking that. They're not reading the news.
Yeah.
They're not at the school board meeting. Oh, it was fake. Oh, okay. They're literally at home on Snapchat going, look at my teacher, bro. And then I don't know.
That's awful.
All right, James.
Yes, sir.
I hate you to be here on this day, but
you're
sitting in a room with two teachers, my friend.
I am.
And you're a parent.
I am a parent.
Is this parent-teacher conferences? Is that what's happening right now?
Well, I think there's two of us and one of him. So I think for today's podcast, at the end of this show, we should kind of turn it back on you.
Why?
And maybe do a reverse teacher-parent conference.
Oh, God.
Instead of a parent-teacher conference.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we got questions. Do you have any questions for us? Oh, guess what? You don't get to ask them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because we pay you through our taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Work for us, actually.
I work for you.
Yeah. So, anyways, I would like to ask you, James, what are you going to do about your child's grade?
What do you mean?
Oh, your child's failing.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. They're failing because I checked the grade, and it's not good.
Well, was it homework or testing?
It was both, James. Do you even parent?
I do.
Do you ever check any of their work?
You mean all the time?
No, I mean at all, daily.
No, not daily.
Why would you not participate in your child's
I work.
future?
What do you mean?
You're busy and you work. Oh, that's crazy. I don't know. Are we doing jobs? Is that what we do?
I do believe we do.
I didn't know that. I didn't think we. I guess what teaching isn't a job.
Well, you know what the problem is
The problem is
I'm hearing a lot of.
Why are you raising your voice? Why are you raising your voice?
Because I'm passionate about my son's grade.
Are you?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, here's the thing, man. What can you guys do to help me?
Wait, this is not us answering questions.
What can you do?
This is you answering questions.
Well, how can I help myself get you to help me?
First off, you can start with the D word, defensive, and stop doing it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that I was being defensive.
No, it's just, honestly, your child's also been fighting.
No.
Yeah,
my Johnny would never fight anyone.
Your child fights all the time.
I'm pretty sure my child was defending himself.
Do you see this busted lip and this black eye?
That was from you?
No, it was from her. She hit me.
I told you not to talk back.
Yeah, but it was in the discussion about your child
fighting. Have you ever
fighting.
thought about your actions are making my son not do his homework because he is afraid?
Now you're starting to sound exactly like the parents.
Yep.
Have you thought about your actions and why my son can't get a grade?
Do you realize that there's a lot of that, James?
I can't. I can't.
So your child is having trouble getting to class on time. Why?
Well,
in
his defense,
showing them how to be late?
No, I'm not. But in his defense, McDonald's makes very delicious egg McMuffins.
Yeah, in fact, I was wondering that the other day they brought in food. Do you think that's professional?
Yeah. Well, yes. I want to make sure you have a balanced breakfast as well. You're welcome, by the way.
And also, I'd like to address why you're not wearing pants in this meeting.
Because it's hot.
No, James, this is how we deal with these parents. And they're right in your face. I mean, you.
But I will say this. I understand what you guys go through. Like, I do a series of videos called Don't Be That Parent. Mm-hmm. Because I know it's always, not always, but a lot of times, you guys didn't do anything wrong. You didn't make the kid have a bad grade.
No.
The kid didn't do his work. The kid does bad on tests. He doesn't study. There's a reason your kid's not doing well, but they always seem to blame you. Like, it's your fault. Like, what are you going to do to raise his grade? Nothing. That's your job.
One of the things I was always kind of taken back by is that we made a shift from paper grade books and getting a report card. Remember, you get an intern report,
Absolutely.
Which would be, here's how they're doing. They're halfway to the 9 weeks. This is the current situation.
Yeah.
Progress report to a report card.
Yeah.
We made that shift to what you would think would be an easier system to constantly maintain their grades 24 hours a day. You can log in and see grades and absences.
Yeah.
And I would still have parents go, why are you just now telling me that my son has an F? And you go, you have a login. You can access it every day. And they're like, what do you mean my child was skipping? You got a phone call
every day
saying that your child was not in class.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right, because my wife and I used to log into something called Focus. We could see what our kids did every single day. Now, if you're an active parent, it was the best tool in the world to make sure your kid was on top of his stuff. Me and my wife used it every day. We were like, hey, you're missing this report. And they're like, whoa, I got it right here. I turned that in. Like, I did that. So it was set up to help a parent make sure that their kid was doing what they needed to. And it was easier. You didn't have to have the kid bring home a paper or they misplaced it. It was right there for you every single day. We used it. Our kids did well in school. Great tool.
Yeah.
So that's on you as a parent, because they put the information out there.
The first day, I'm like, here's your login. It's updated every week.
Yeah.
Here's how you go to the grade book. Here's how you set notifications.
Yes.
To where if their grade drops below an 80, you get a text message.
That's right.
It could not be easier.
So
and yet
easy.
Every single 9 weeks, I'd give the report cards out and they'd go, you never told us.
Yeah.
And you know what the funniest part is about those same parents? If you go out and watch them do anything in public, they are constantly
On their phone.
Yep.
But they can't be bothered to sign in on their program to see what their kid's doing.
You want to know what the most frustrating part is? And I don't know if you dealt with this too, is that I would have the updated grade books. I would have the notification set. And the parent would go, you never told us. And admin would go, why didn't you tell them? And we had to actually have parent call logs. You have parent call logs?
Yeah.
We had to have parent call logs where we had to consistently call. And it's hard because I'll be honest, the jail doesn't take calls at all times.
No, seriously.
But no, I would call parents and a lot of them would give false numbers. Sometimes it's no, they don't live here anymore. You know, it's like, oh no, that's the ex-husband. He's not with me anymore. And or just dead numbers all the time. And then you go to the kid and he's like, yeah, I don't know.
Right.
You know, and it's like
they don't want him to call.
I don't call my mom.
But it's so funny because they don't know until the time comes, and then suddenly they're like, oh, you didn't call me. You didn't this, you didn't that. And it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, because at that point, then they were going to have to do summer school. Their kid's not going to graduate. So then it becomes their problem and they start caring.
Oh, especially with the seniors. It becomes a race.
Yeah.
Oh my God. My son has to walk.
Yeah.
He has to, yeah.
Yeah, which, like, as a parent, you want your kid to walk, but, like, it's not magic.
No,
it's
just
not.
Happen.
Like,
no.
But I will say the part that frustrated me the most is the amount of bending that the school districts would do to allow this to, like, there was never a, you didn't tell me, and I go, yeah, I did. And they go, okay. You know, it was always a, oh, well, I'm going above your head. And above my head never stood up for us.
No.
Yeah.
In fact, I had students, so I taught economics and government. I would have students that are failing halfway, and the admin would come and pull them out of my class. Not go, hey, you need to get it together. They would pull them out of my class and then throw them into a computer lab so they would take the course online where they could Google the answers instead of having
Every
to.
time.
And so they would just sit in there and Google the answers, and they would get 100% A all of a sudden.
Jesus.
A kid that went from an F and never got anything right, never came to class, could sit in on a computer lab once a week, get 100% A and graduate with honors. You know, I mean, it was just like such an injustice to the other kids that were actually trying. They cared, but there were so many grade recoveries. It was all a ploy to get a high graduation rate. We had such an inflated graduation rate that if you kept them to the same standards that we had just 10 years ago, the graduation rate would have plummeted because you would have kids repeating. You would have kids actually that had, you know,
they will not leave kids behind anymore.
Right. Have you ever had it where you put your grades in and you were done, but then the kid, all of a sudden their grade changed?
I've had pressure from the top to change grades where they literally come in and go, no, this needs to happen. And I fought back and was like, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. And I've never, ever, ever changed grade post grade being put in, and they would get livid. And then I would never see the kid again. They would pull the kid and again throw them into a different class and erase the grade that I gave them.
Why are they motivated to do that for the kid?
Because it looks bad on the district if they have a high fail rate. And so what I knew a coworker of mine that would say, like, you can give that kid a passing grade, but you take my name off of the grade book because that was not my class. Like, and then the school would basically just remove that class, give them a passing grade, and said it was like alt, whatever.
Yeah, that's what would happen with mine. They'd take them out of the class and give them.
That is highly suspect, man.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And then they get to college and they
don't know the
they're
material.
Like, we don't know. Who's your English teacher?
It says Dr. Phipps.
Right?
Who's that?
I don't know, but there was a cat and a hat. And for math, 1 fish plus 2 fish equals bluefish.
Right.
Who can argue?
Right.
It's so frustrating to see those barriers. And obviously, we'd like to hear from you, too. Are you experiencing the same stuff in your schools? Comment below and let us know, you know, are you able to give a failing grade? I know there's a lot of teachers out there that are mad not only about the failing grades, but the minimum failing grades, too. The can't dip below a 50. So like students that never came to class would still get a 50 and then be able to turn in like one thing and get it above the 60 and suddenly have a passing grade.
That is just criminal.
What bothers me most, and I'll say this before we get, is that you're giving them that's the idea of how society works.
How the world works.
And so when they go, you're setting them up for failure because they go into society and then they mess up. And then there's an actual consequence and they don't get a second chance and nobody's pulling them out of their job and going, you know what, do this easier job over here for the same pay and you can Google your job, you know, like, no, you're fired. You don't. Right. And oh, okay, well, how do I eat? You don't. You don't have rent. You know, there's consequences. And these people, like, you know, are not productive members of society. No. We need, you know, smart. I always advocate, you know, intelligence is a good thing for us as people. So hopefully, but you never know.
Education is a lot like dodgeball. No participation trophies.
No participation trophy.
You're right. You brought it full circle.
And if you don't do it right, my 8-year-old will peg you in the face.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I think that's where you were going with that.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay. So James, how can people find you online, my friend?
As always, Instagram, James Yon Comedian. That's YON. And follow me on Facebook. I always forget to tell you guys that. I appreciate all the support you guys have been giving me. Thank you.
And Andrea.
Educator Andrea on TikTok and Instagram, and my website is educatorandrea.com.
Gotcha. And that's Andrea, not Andrea. Yeah. So go to educatorandrea.com. Not the same thing.
Not going to be there.
Yeah, not going to be there. All right. And devincomedy.com for all upcoming tour dates and my book, and to book me for speaking at your school. And obviously, you know, students out there listening, I'll see you on the court.
Oh, wow.
So thanks so much for tuning in. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode of Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers. There might be a clip up there. There might be a clip down there. If it's got our face, if it's other people's stuff, come back. Don't click on that, you know. But us, suggested things. That's us. Crying in My Car. Devin Sebold, James Yon, board teachers. Watch. New trailer for Indiana Jones. No, don't do that. Don't do that.